Hey everybody, I'm just starting this new segment called Shop Talk. This is the segment I imagine I would like have conversation with people inside a comic book shop, but when I go in, there's barely anyone there or anyone that's up for talking. So yeah, I'm doing it with this camera. Initially, saw today on the Facebook market, on the Facebook forums, on the Facebook groups. I'm not gonna say which group, but I belong to a few comic book groups, and the one issue that came up today and has been persistent is: are the value of comics shooting up, ruining the hobby? Well, I guess I should preface it this. Well, my introduction to the hobby is many years ago. Man, when I got into it, whenever Ultimate Hulk versus Wolverine was out, and maybe a year, maybe about 8 months before that, maybe 2 year. And this was years ago when I was actually in college, so probably like 2006. Yeah, '06, I believe, is when I really got into comics because I was working at a restaurant during college. There was a comic shop near the restaurant, and on my breaks, I just wander over, and then I just became intrigued, and I read some as a kid, well, child, and got into it up to the point where Secret Wars had, or sorry, not Secret Wars, but Secret Invasion. So I hate scrolls. Yeah. Anyway, Secret Invasion took me out of comics up until Death Metal, and when Death Metal came on the scene, and I started hearing about what it was about, alternate universe Batman's, they're evil, attacking the DC universe. Okay, I gotta try this. I gotta try it, and I did, and I'm back. So imagine really at Death Metal, I came back into comics. What year that is, I forget. And these were all bought in that time period. Now, I'm not sure what people are the big issue on owning certain keys. I don't know that. I mean, I do know when I saw this Moon Knight in a dollar bin box, I had to get it. I mean, it's not perfect. I mean, if you look at it, there's some spine ticks, and such. And definitely, cosmetic problems. But, overall, it's definitely a way beyond a good reader copy. I mean, this is I don't know, between a 5 and a 7 by CGC, right? I mean, so it's not complete, rubbish. I'm sorry, I'm trying to use good words. And I found the Zap Comics, same store. And of course, this is all beat the heck. I thought about trying to get it pressed, but what's the point? It's like color breakage to the extreme, right? So why bother? But it is a piece of history, and I at least was really into Robert Crumb when I was younger, even before getting back into comics. But as I started to collect his work and read his work, I started to have a different opinion because, well, there are weird things with teenage girls in his books. I get at the time maybe it was acceptable and whatnot, but And here we have Static, the last issue, number 45. Believe it or not, I got this for about $3.50, $3.75. $3.75, if you could believe that. I was walking in, a store, a shop, comic shop that's, currently closed, sadly. Well, actually, not sadly. This is probably the only great find I found in that store. The only great key that I got for a ridiculous price. And yeah, of course, I was none the wiser when I got it. Because at the time, I didn't know Static was a thing. I didn't know this particular issue was so low in count. And I don't even know if, the guy behind the counter, who was the owner of the shop, knew that he had marked this as basically, a cover price book, but did not account for the incremental value it gained over the years. I have no idea, because it only took me days later until I figured out this book has some value, which I didn't intend to. I'm just buying every stat book I can find in any of the shops in my city. So, getting back to the idea of value ruining comics, I don't see that being the case. Will it create a divide? Of course. I mean, I remember I got this sucker for $40. Yeah, the first print, this, of course, confusing cover. I mean, there's this whole thing and this thing. I mean, I know there's a sketch where it's supposed to be him kicking, but in the statue, they don't reflect this. They don't have the hand to the statue, as I've noticed, which they should. And maybe have this claw so you can peer underneath and see his leg and how that whole works. But yes, but anyway, beyond that, I mean, I remember I got this because of nostalgia, pure nostalgia. I remember being a kid, and I think I had this as a kid, or maybe my I don't know. It was around when I was a kid, and that's when I saw it for sale. It was like $40. Like, all right, fine, I'm gonna grab it. But I know things have changed. I mean, I know there are books like this. I mean, I have all the 5 issues, which should be 6. I have to say, look some stuff up on YouTube, and you find out why 6 never happened and what would have happened with the extra pages. Is kind of cool with Adam. And I have to say, this is my favorite superhero, and I had to look for him, and I did pay a decent price for this book, but it was before it really exploded. I mean, occasionally I see like a whole set between 1,000 and 2,000, which I don't understand, but it's the way it is. I was lucky. I got this. I can see for those readers who really truly need a physical copy being peeved by at least this kind of comic. Because even the collected edition, that's high money. That's high value. The singles, high value. There's no real option because this hasn't been reprinted. I mean, I'm sure it's on Marvel Unlimited. I know I've read a lot of Blue Marvel stuff on Marvel Unlimited. And, there are scans, and considering how pricey this book is and how Marvel is not doing a reprint, in my opinion, if you can get a scan and want to read it, do it. That's just me. I'm not going to judge you. So there are bits of history that, yes, if you're looking for that bit of comic history, you are going to miss out on the way things change. But really, I'm not going to own a Alan Moore Swamp Thing. But this came out. And I know they're absolutes and giant hardcovers, but in my personal opinion, if I can get a bunch of trades, I'd prefer that. The old hands. You hear that cracking? It's not going to get any better. So I try to focus on more singles and trays just to where, I worry about, when I'm, somehow 70 and have my collection still, I want to be able to read it. But still, I cannot buy these in singles. If I can get these in singles, I would. But it's not possible. But luckily, at least DC finally gave people this option. A whole set. I mean, I know they've had the trades and out there, but a whole little set like this, especially for the deal I got on DCBS, I mean, I had to do it. Just had to. And of course, it's a Alan Moore Swamp Thing. Oh man, anyone who thinks about enjoying comics for even a slight moment needs to check this out. But I see comics going in 2 camps. There's the camp of the investor. I guess I should put this one. The investor. As this is a nice little... The only... yeah, I forgot the name of this. I'm probably going to stop recording and realize the name of this type of container for comic. But I'm forgetting it this time. But this is the only one I have. But anyway, so we'll have, the people looking for some kind of investment. Not just, not people even reading, just people looking for an investment. There'll be that camp. We sadly are going to have that camp. We have that camp in video games and other types of nerd nostalgia, just because, well, I mean, I'm sure half people that will look at this video, which is probably like 6, so 3 of you are going to want this really badly. I understand that. And let's say the other camp. I mean, I'm putting, I know these are not exactly the cheap books right now either, but, you know, I got this for $1, and this app is pretty rough. So, you know, there's the camp of, there's some other great books being put out there. Like I said, there'll be reprints of the classics. But, you know, think about Source Point Press and other smaller indies or Kickstarters and such. So with the popularity of comics, so hence this camp, you know, people putting money into books and money in the books and hoping that in 20 years later they have a, you know, a ASM 15, you know, kind of situation, or sorry, Amazing Fantasy 15 situation where they can cash out, you know, they'll buy these. But because of that, this exists. This whole camp of independent, weird, cheap books. Kind of like I was saying, like Source Point Press, you have Second Sight, Scout's a thing. We have Aftershock becoming more of a stronger publisher. Another favorite, CEX, I believe is called. They're producing Charlie Spot, which is one of my current favorite books being published right now. You know, and we're getting such unique and creative stuff out there. And yeah, maybe some is boutique, kind of like Bad Idea. You have to find the right shop that will sell you to it in the right sort of format, in the right process. But we have these options because this camp exists, the investors. So as much as I hate that I'll never own certain books, which are few, I mean, there are new books every week with great covers, so I'll be all right, I think, in my opinion. But am I glad I have these? Of course I am. I mean, I love having a bit of my childhood back, and I remember reading Blue Marble, and it's like, oh my goodness, I gotta check this out at some point. I mean, I read it digitally first, and then an opportunity came up late one night when I was perusing some online forums and said, hey, this is for sale. And on the toilet, I was like, hey, I'm going to buy it. And this guy, you know, apparently high price from what I understand, you know, I got for a fraction. So those things will happen if you are a collector, if you're a hunter, if you're someone going after, you know, weird garage sales and picking out through there, or, you know, used bookstores. You can find unique opportunities from there. I mean, that's how I found these. A used bookstore, and they apparently got comics in. But I know that will change because, well, humanity is humanity, and they see something of value. Why give it over to a store when you can sell it yourself and keep more of the money? Depends on the person who gets into that, but, you know, I hope there's more of them because I'll get more of these cheaper. But anyway, this camp of investors and people looking for value out of what they buy in the future is not a detriment. Is it a detriment to you because you don't own this? Is it a detriment to you because you don't own this already and could flip it or make a profit off of it? I mean, that is a valid thing to say, and saying, oh, I wish I had that. I wish I bought that years ago and could sell it now and make all the monies. And that is valid, but the complaints are not saying that. No one's admitting to their greed or to their desires. If their desire is to just have this and covet it, you know, and sleep with it at night, which I don't because I'll crush it. I'm slightly weighty. Most comic book fans are, from my understanding. But at least, you know, as myself, I know I'm weighty. I'd hurt that. Or where's that going? But anyway, we may want to sleep with it. We may love it. but sometimes we can't have it or own it. I mean, there are other ways. If you can't have this cover on your wall, you can print it out, all right? I mean, that's an option. I mean, I'm not doing that because there's more books out every week. They're awesome. So really, money does not ruin this hobby. Money creates more of this weird stuff. The new stuff, the great stuff, the stuff that could become this, that could become valuable. So really, let's not talk about how money is hurting the hobby, in our personal forums and correspondences, our chats, our notifications, comments. How are we talking about how money is hurting our participation in the hobby? How it is our personal experience? Because I see most are trying to apply it to everybody. See that's a big problem, and it is not, them having, jealousy. And that's why I see the driving force of most of these comments I see online. But jealousy. I mean, I could sell this. I have no desire to because I do like Static as a character. I love Static as a character. Well, I mean, Brashear can beat the shit out of Static in my opinion. He's way better than Static in my. But we're not getting. That's a different discussion, which we're not going to get into. That's a different video. But money is not going to ruin comics. Money does not hurt comics. Money helps comics. Without the money, we wouldn't have the Kickstarters. We wouldn't have, new projects by, like Scott Snyder, however bad his new comic it probably is, and up and comers. I know I'm not showing my newer books here because I was less than prepared, but you get the idea. Investment, new stuff, the creative stuff, because this exists, because this is chasing this, right? And people were going to take a chance on this because it could be this. But then people like me was like, hey, how about the weird stuff, like for Exciting Comics or Planet Comics, which will never be valuable, but they have cool, interesting stuff in it, and I can take advantage. I'm so excited. Things are shaking. I'm that excited. The world turned. Anyway, now that we're done with our chat, I still have this one copy of JLA Avengers, still waiting to be, claimed for a giveaway, given out for a giveaway on my channel. And I need 1,000 people to subscribe, 1,000 people really wanted to see my stuff, at least for 5 seconds, I guess. Rule is, waiting to get 5,000 subscribers. Comment on this video and future videos with, something funny. Something bring a chuckle to me for my hard day at work. And I'll take 10 comments that made me laugh the most and pick randomly from them as who's going to get this. It'll be free shipping, free cost. Well, free shipping within the continental United States. I'll do my best to work with anyone international or in Alaska and Hawaii, but that may cost you a little bit for the shipping. Continental United States, 100% free shipping. Outside of that, it's not going to be free. All right. Thank you for listening. Catch you later. Have a good night.